The night sky above Earth was deceptively calm. At the Lagrange Point to Research Station, a small humming outpost nestled between Earth and the Moon Doctor, Leela Santos stared intently at the glowing screen before her. Streams of data scrolled endlessly, but one pattern made her heart skip. "Something's coming," she whispered. For weeks, her team had been monitoring deep space anomalies, strange bursts of radiation, erratic trajectories, but this was different. The signal wasn't random. It was too structured, too deliberate. Leela leaned closer as the code slowly resolved. A complex alien language, encrypted but repeating in unmistakable patterns. "This isn't noise," she said to her assistant Arjun. "It's a message." The lab's AI assistant, Halcyon, synthesized the data at lightning speed. Decryption at 42%. Estimated origin, beyond Neptune. Fleet size, unknown but massive. Intent, hostile, the AI stated in a flat, chilling tone. Leela swallowed hard. Hostile. Suddenly, the lab's communications lit up. Across the globe, astronomers and defense networks confirmed the same horrifying truth. Hundreds of colossal ships, each the size of a city, were barreling inward toward the inner solar system at impossible speeds. A global alert was triggered. Across the Pacific, in a bustling media studio in Tokyo, news anchor Hana Takeda sat frozen mid-broadcast, the normally composed woman now struggling to hold back tears. "We have just received confirmation from multiple space agencies worldwide," she said, voice trembling. "An alien fleet is approaching Earth. Their intentions are not peaceful." The studio erupted into chaos behind her, but Hannah held her ground. "Citizens of Earth, prepare yourselves. This is unlike anything humanity has ever faced." Back at the United Nations headquarters, emergency sessions were underway. Ambassadors bickered, blaming past diplomatic failures and competing for control of the response. "Divide and conquer won't save us." Leela's colleague, Dr. Marcus Voss, said sharply, "This isn't about politics, it's survival." In a rare moment of consensus, the UN Security Council dissolved itself and formed the Earth Defense Authority, DA, with unprecedented power to mobilize military and scientific assets worldwide. Leela was tapped to join a new AI task force charged with deciphering the invaders' technology. But on the streets of New Delhi, in the sprawling slums shadowed by the gleaming spires of the city's elite, life went on with fragile normality. Ravi, a teenage mechanic with dreams bigger than his surroundings, overheard rumors on the radio. "Aliens? No way," he scoffed. "They make those movies too scary." Yet, as news vans rolled in and soldiers marched through the streets, even Ravi's world shifted. "Whatever's coming," his older sister said, "we have to be ready. This is not just another war." Back in orbit, the alien fleet was now past Mars, casting vast shadows on the red planet's surface. Their massive hulls gleamed cold and alien, covered in geometries no human eye could decipher. Leela watched a live feed of the swarm from the EDF command center on Earth. "They've bypassed Earth entirely," she said, eyes wide. "What are they waiting for?" Her colleague, Admiral Elena Marquez, tapped the table. "They're calculating their move. But we won't wait for them." In the sprawling underground shipyards of Mars, the Titan's wake was preparing for launch. Its sleek black hull reflected the faint orange light filtering through the dusty atmosphere. Captain Aaron Blake, a grizzled veteran of orbital skirmishes, ran a hand over the ship's cold metal. "Orders are clear," he said. "We hit them first. no mercy. As the countdown to first contact ticked down, humanity stood on the brink. Leela, watching the starfield beyond Earth's orbit, whispered to herself, "They came to invade Earth, but we're not waiting to be victims." The war for humanity's survival had begun. Earth didn't wait for the invaders to reach the doorstep. Underneath the shimmering surface of global panic, humanity had been preparing for a nightmare, much like this, quietly, relentlessly, for decades. In an underground facility beneath the Nevada desert, hidden behind layers of rock and steel, the true extent of Earth's secret arsenal was revealed. The room buzzed with energy. Humming machines, long dormant, awoke as technicians scrambled to bring ancient weapons back online. These were not the spacecraft of old sci-fi fantasies. They were brutal, precise tools of war fusion cannons, orbital kinetic guns, and swarms of autonomous drones equipped with lethal AI. General Sophia Jong paced the command room, eyes scanning tactical displays. The alien fleet's advance was tracked minute by minute. Every second mattered. "Status report," she demanded. Lieutenant Marcos Rivera tapped a holographic panel. "Ghost fleet ready, ma'am. Stealth drone swarms armed and deployed in Martian orbit." Sophia nodded sharply. "Good. We hit them before they can coordinate an assault." Thousands of kilometers above, orbiting silently, the Ghost fleet stirred to life. Clusters of sleek, black drones detached from their motherships, their surfaces flickering as they activated cloaking fields. Each drone was a masterwork of AI destruction dyes to infiltrate, disable, and obliterate. Captain Aaron Blake, aboard Titan's wake, felt the weight of command heavy on his shoulders as he monitored the battle grid. "Remember, these aren't just ships," he told his crew. "They're a machine, and machines can be broken." Back on Earth, Dr. Leela Santos sat with a new team of AI specialists, racing against the clock to decode the alien technology's weaknesses. "Look here," she said, pointing at a glowing schematic projected mid-air. "Their energy signatures are consistent but rigid. Their systems don't adapt quickly." Her colleague, Dr. Raj Patel, frowned. "That rigidity could be a vulnerability. If we can disrupt their central AI links, the swarm loses cohesion." Layla nodded, eyes sharp. "It's a gamble, but it might be our best shot." Meanwhile, tension simmered within the EDA's leadership. General Zhang and Dr. Patel clashed over the strategy. "We can't just gamble on hacking," Zhang said, voice tight. "They outnumber us. They'll overwhelm by sheer force." Patel retorted, "and throw more lives away. We have to be smarter." Their argument was cut short by a sudden alert. "Incoming." A technician shouted dot on the screens. A ghostly alien scout vessel darted out of the shadows near the asteroid belt. It moved too fast for human ships to catch, its surface shimmering with unfamiliar tech. Suddenly, the scout fired a pulsar weapon. Unlike anything Earth had seen, the blast tore through an orbital satellite, sending shards hurtling toward Earth, shields holding. Captain Blake reported, voice steady but tense. General Zhong's jaw clenched. "This is it," she said. "They're testing us. And it's not just brute force. They're using weapons designed to cripple our defenses silently." In the cramped command deck of Titan's wake, Blake ordered immediate countermeasures. "Deploy railgun arrays. Target that scout before it disappears." The crew responded with practiced precision. Railgun slugs streaked through space, their trails bright against the black. One hit landed squarely, yet the scout emitted a burst of energy, dissolving into particles. A collective gasp rippled through the bridge. "They're using tech," the weapons officer said, disbelief in his voice. Back on Earth, Leela's team scrambled to understand this new threat. "This changes everything," she muttered. "Our weapons have to evolve or they'll be useless." At that moment, the AI assistant Halcyon spoke with a new urgency. "New data suggests alien weaponry is biologically integrated with their fleet. Targeting their neural network could disable their entire force." Leela's eyes sparked with hope. "Prepare the cyber offensive," she ordered. "If we can crash their network, we can level the playing field." But in the halls of the Edda, tension was palpable. Political leaders from around the world were already pressuring to negotiate. "We can't afford an all-out war," a diplomat argued. "Perhaps they come in peace after all." General Zhong cut through the noise. "They crossed our solar system without invitation," she said coldly. "They made their choice. We respond with force. No negotiations." Her words resonated with the military brass and many civilians watching live feeds worldwide. On the streets of New York City, crowds gathered around giant screens broadcasting the latest developments. Among them was Maya, a college student who had volunteered as a civil defense operator. She clutched her headset, eyes glued to the screen as humanity's hidden war unfolded overhead. "They think they can scare us," she whispered. "They haven't seen what we're capable of yet." Far from Earth, in the shadowed depths beyond Mars, the alien armada was far from complacent. Their commanders analyzed the sudden assault with confusion. "Humans have weapons. Unlike anything we expected," a Vectrax leader growled. "But they're clever, too clever." The alien fleet adjusted formation, preparing for the next phase. Back on Titan's wake, Captain Blake prepared his crew for what he knew was coming. "Remember this crew," he said quietly. "They came for Earth, but we're the hunters now." The war for the solar system had truly begun. Mars hung below them like a silent, rust-colored sentinel, its thin atmosphere swirling faint dust storms across barren plains. For the humans gathered in orbit, the red planet was both shield and sword, an ancient battlefield waiting to be awakened. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of Titan's wake, eyes locked on the main tactical display. The alien fleet known now as the Vectrax swarm was no longer just a distant threat. They were here, and they were moving fast. Vectrax fleet entering Martian orbit in T-minus 2 minutes. Lieutenant Rivera announced, voice steady despite the tension thick enough to cut. Blake nodded grimly. "All systems green. Weapons hot. Let's remind them why humanity fights." The first wave of the alien vanguard appeared as ghostly shadows against the backdrop of Mars' horizon. Hundreds of enormous vessels, their hulls glistening with alien alloys, maneuvered in a deadly formation, predators closing in on prey. But what the Vectrax didn't expect was the sheer precision and ferocity of Earth's counterstrike. From the rocky heights of Olympus Mons, humanity's hidden railgun batteries roared to life, sending hypervelocity projectiles slicing through the void. Orbital kinetic cannons, hidden inside asteroid-sized platforms, unleashed blasts powerful enough to fracture moons. Swarms of stealth drones darted like angry hornets among the enemy ships, tearing into their sensor arrays and communication relays. AI war machines, evolved beyond human commanders' anticipation, executed coordinated strikes with brutal efficiency. "Target the command ship," Blake barked, finger stabbing the control panel. The Vectrax Matriarch, a massive flagship crowned with pulsating bioenergy tendrils, was the heart of the invasion force. Taking it down could unravel the entire swarm. Plasma lances and missile volleys converged on the flagship. For a moment, the battle hung in a terrifying balance. The matriarch responded with a shockwave pulse that disabled nearby human drones and damaged Titan's Wake's shields. The bridge shook with the impact. Damage report. Blake shouted, "Shields holding at 60%, sir." "Hull integrity stable," his weapons officer replied, fingers flying below decks. The crew braced themselves. Engineers worked feverishly to reroute power and repair critical systems. Among them was Lieutenant Sarah Patel, a communications officer who had cracked part of the Vectrax code weeks earlier. "Captain," she said, "overcomes. Their formation is adapting too fast for conventional targeting." Blake's jaw tightened. How fast? Faster than predicted. "It's like they're learning from us in real time." The battle became a deadly dance. Humanity's technological edge clashed against alien adaptability. Every kill marked by a victory was met with a horrifying devolution from the Vectrax. A drone unit was suddenly swarmed by biomechanical parasites that turned the AI against itself. A railgun battery was targeted by what appeared to be an energy-draining field, plunging it into darkness. Amid the chaos, a young pilot named Jox Chen maneuvered his fighter with fearless precision. "Striker 1 to command," he radioed breathlessly. "I'm locking onto the matriarch's energy core." Blake's eyes narrowed. "Make it count." Jox launched a salvo of plasma torpedoes, weaving through enemy fire. The missiles struck true, rupturing the alien flagship's bioenergy shields. For a brief moment, the matriarch glowed with a sickly light, then imploded in a violent chain reaction that sent shockwaves rippling through the Vectrax fleet. "Command ship destroyed," Lieutenant Rivera confirmed, awe in his voice. But the victory was far from complete. The surviving vessels rallied, their tactics growing more desperate and brutal. Alien fighters, fast, agile, and terrifyingly relentless, swooped in to attack. Titans waked directly. Missiles slammed into the hull, forcing Blake to order evasive maneuvers. On the bridge, alarms blared. "Hull breach in Sector 7. An officer shouted. Blake tightened his grip on the railing. "Seal it. Divert power to life support." In the chaos, a voice crackled over Kamsa, chilling. Distorted message in the alien tongue, now partially deciphered by Sarah Patel. They're communicating in real-time battle data, coordinating a counterstrike. "Can we jam it?" Blake asked urgently. "We're trying, but their network is deeply encrypted and biologically linked," she replied. "Standard electronic warfare isn't enough." On Mars, the planet's surface trembled as orbital bombardments sent debris raining down on the once quiet plains. Human forces scrambled ground troops and mechanized units to intercept any attempted landings. "Command, we have unknown life forms approaching surface," reported Colonel Imani ASA, leading the Martian Defense Force. "They're not just ships," she said grimly. "They're sending troops." Back in orbit, the battle reached a fever pitch. Blake knew humanity was playing for more than survival. They were proving something vital, that humanity was unpredictable, fierce, ruthless, that humanity would never bow to invaders. Suddenly, a blip appeared on the radar-alone Vectrax ship, breaking away from the swarm, heading straight toward Mars. Could be a scout or a kamikaze, Rivera warned. Blake made a swift decision. Striker pilots, intercept and neutralize. We can't. Let them establish a foothold. As fighters scrambled into action, Blake allowed himself a brief, Grim smile. They came to invade Earth, but they never even made it past Mars. The aftermath of the Mars orbit battle left the solar system breathless. Human forces had shattered the alien vanguard, but the cost was heavy, and the war was far from over. In the cold, dimly lit halls of the Earth, defense authorities research. Complex beneath the Nevada desert, Dr. Leela Santos and her team pored over intercepted alien communications. Fragments of the Vectrax language had been cracked, revealing a chilling insight. They're rigid, Leela said, frowning over a holographic display of alien battle commands. Their hierarchy is absolute. Orders flow top-down with little room for adaptation or improvisation. Dr. Raj Patel, her partner in decoding, nodded. It's a military machine, efficient, but predictable. That's the key. Leela's eyes sparked. That means if we can disrupt the command structure, they lose their edge. Their whole swarm could collapse into chaos. Across the command room, General Sophia Jong leaned forward, arms crossed. That sounds promising, but how do we do it? Their systems are biologically linked. It's not just computers, it's neural networks built into their ships and weapons. Leela's fingers danced over the console. We develop a cyber-biological virus, something that targets the neural nodes specifically. It's a gamble, but the alternative is endless attrition. Jong gave a rare nod of approval. You have 24 hours. Failure isn't an option. Meanwhile, aboard the Titan's wake, Captain Aaron Blake reviewed the latest battlefield reports. Despite the victory, his crew was exhausted, and the enemy was adapting faster than anticipated. A sharp knock at the bridge door startled him. Lieutenant Sarah Patel entered, clutching a datapad. We intercepted something, she said, eyes wide. An alien transmission, but it's different. It's a message. Blake raised an eyebrow. From who? Sarah hesitated. One of their own, a defector. In a secret communication chamber, the alien defector spoke through a translator. Devicer distorted, alien voice attempting to bridge worlds. They call themselves Vectrax, but not all agree with the invasion, the voice rasped. Some of us see the destruction it brings. Earth is different. You fight with something beyond technology. You fight with will. Layla watched the feed, heart pounding. This is unprecedented. General Jong's face was unreadable. Can we trust it? Blake's voice was steady. We don't have that luxury. But if even part of this is true, it could change everything. The defector revealed key details about the Vectrax neural network. It was vulnerable to certain frequencies and chemical disruptors, biological weak points that human scientists could exploit. Leela's team immediately began synthesizing compounds and coding viruses, tailored to the alien biology in the lab. Halcyon's voice broke the tense silence. Cyber-biological virus ready for deployment. Estimated success rate, 73%. Layla exchanged glances with Jung. It's time. In orbit above Mars, Titan's wake and the human fleet prepared for a decisive strike. As the cyber-biological virus was uploaded, the alien swarm faltered. Communication between ships jittered, and formations lost their lethal precision. Blake grinned, voice booming over comms. Now, push them back. The Vectrax fought with desperation, but their neural networks struggled against the virus's relentless assault. Ships collided, systems crashed, and chaos rippled through their ranks. Yet, amid the chaos, the aliens unveiled a terrifying countermeasure. A massive energy surge radiated from the remaining Vectrax command, ship an ancient bioweapon, designed to reset their neural network. The shockwave hit human forces like a hammer blow. Communications went dark. Weapons went silent. Blake's heart raced. Report. He shouted. Systems rebooting, Rivera replied. We're down, but not out. On Earth, Layla watched the battle feed, biting her lip. The virus worked, but only for a moment. General Zhong's expression hardened. We've just seen their trump card. We need a new plan, and fast. As the solar system braced for the next wave, a new resolve settled over humanity. They were not just fighting machines. They were fighting for every breath of freedom, every flicker of hope. Layla whispered into the night, eyes to the stars. They underestimated human resolve. They thought we were predictable, but we are anything but. The solar system was no longer a quiet neighborhood. It had become a brutal war zone. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the battered bridge of Titan's Wake. The metallic taste of recycled air thick with tension. Outside, distant flashes of plasma and kinetic fire lit the void, a deadly ballet of destruction. Status, Blake demanded, voice steady but strained. Lieutenant Rivera's fingers danced across the console. Shields at 45%. Hull integrity holding. Enemy swarm still fragmented but dangerous. Blake's jaw clenched. We can't hold this position much longer. Prepare for boarding defense protocols. If they breach us, it's over. Below decks, the atmosphere was heavier. The crew braced against the coming storm among them. Sergeant Maya Ellis checked her weapon, the sleek pulse rifle she had trained on for years. This is it, she muttered to herself, eyes hardening. Time to show them what humanity's made of. Vectrex swarm surged, the remaining ships acting like a swarm of locusts. Desperate and vicious, one of their fighters tore through Titan's Wake's outer defense, latching onto the hull with spiked tendrils. The boarding clamps hissed as airlocks forced open. Intruders aboard. The alarm blared. Blake's voice cut through the chaos. All hands, repel boarders. Lock down compartments and engage combat mode. The corridors of the ship became a battlefield. Flashing emergency lights cast jagged shadows as human marines clashed with alien invaders' biomechanical horrors that fused steel with living tissue. Relentless and merciless, Maya moved with practiced precision, firing bursts of energy that seared through alien flesh. Around her, comrades fell, but their resolve burned bright. We hold this ship, Maya growled, or we die trying. On the bridge, Blake coordinated desperate maneuvers. Prepare. Emergency thrusters, he ordered. If we lose this ship, we deny them the prize. Lieutenant Patel, monitoring alien communications, reported breakthroughs. The virus is spreading again, she said. Their neural network is fracturing. This fight could break their entire force. Blake nodded grimly. Good, but not good enough. Not yet. Back on Earth, Dr. Leela Santos worked tirelessly alongside the EDA scientists. Her hands trembled as she adjusted the virus. Code each, tweak a chance to turn the tide. We have one shot, she told Zhong. If this fails, we lose the initiative. Zhong's gaze was steel. Then we make it count. In orbit, the next human strike fleet launched from the Moon and Mars, converging on the Vectrex remnants. Captain Blake's voice came over the comms, steady and defiant. Today, we fight not just for survival, but for the future of all mankind. The battle erupted, raucous, savage. Explosions rocked ships as plasma and railgun fire tore through alien hulls. Human pilots pushed their fighters beyond limits. weaving through enemy lines with fearless skill. Amid the chaos, Maya's squadron held the boarding corridors, fighting tooth and nail to deny the Vectrax footholds. A brutal firefight broke out near the engine room. Maya ducked behind a bulkhead as an alien lurker lunged. Its serrated claws slashing, she fired a searing blast. Tore through the creature's torso, but more closed in. Keep moving. She yelled to her team. Don't let them surround us. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Core breach detected. The warning blared. Blake's heart sank. Evacuate non-combat personnel. Prepare for emergency protocols. In the chaos, Maya's squad was trapped. With no time left, she made a choice. Cover the eve. She shouted, I'm holding this corridor. Her comrades hesitated, then scrambled toward safety as Maya stood firm against the oncoming wave. She felt the cold bite of alien claws, but even as she fell, her resolve blazed. The battle was far from over. Back on the bridge, Blake gritted his teeth. We're losing crew, but not the fight. He pressed the comms button. Humanity fights back. We don't give up. We don't surrender. Far above Mars, the Vectrax fleet fractured and fled. Their invasion stalled, but not yet broken. Human ships pursued, relentless as ever. On Earth, the news spread fast. Maya's sacrifice became a symbol of courage, of defiance, of the unyielding human spirit. Leela looked out at the stars, whispering, they thought us weak, fragile, but blood and steel run through our veins. We are Earth's guardians, and we will never fall. The remnants of the Vectrax fleet limped away from Mars' orbit, their once terrifying advance now fractured and faltering. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity sensed a shift, not just survival, but the chance to seize the initiative. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the deck of Titan's wake. Scars of battle etched into the ship's hull and into the weary faces of his crew. The ship still bore the wounds from the last boarding assault, but its spirit burned fierce. Status report. Blake called to Lieutenant Rivera, who was monitoring the sensor grid. Enemy fleet is retreating beyond Phobos, Rivera replied. Our forces sustained losses but inflicted heavy damage. The virus continues to degrade their neural network. Blake exhaled, tension easing slightly. Good, but they won't run forever. They'll regroup. On Earth, the EDIA command center hummed with activity. Dr. Leela Santos and her team were relentless, pushing the cyber-biological virus to new limits, adjusting the virus to target their neural nodes even more precisely. Leela explained to General Sophia Jong, the key is destabilizing their hive mind without giving them time to recover. Jong nodded, appreciation mixing with urgency. This is our best weapon. Don't let it fail. Meanwhile, in the depths of the solar system, the Vectrax leadership convened aboard their flagship Void Sovereign. The once mighty command ship was now a shadow of its former glory, crippled by the relentless human counterattacks. A towering alien with bioluminescent ridges, Vectrax commander Katar glared at a holographic projection of the human fleet. They fight with unpredictable fury, he snarled. Their will is stronger than anticipated. His second-in-command hissed, we must adapt or perish. Our neural network is compromised. Deploy the countermeasures. Back on Titan's wake, Blake convened with his officers. Our next move is crucial, he said, determination shining in his eyes. We strike their command centers on Phobos and Deimos simultaneously, cut off their leadership and finish what we started. Lieutenant Patel, monitoring intercepted alien chatter, nodded. They're vulnerable. The virus is fragmenting their command structure. This is our chance. The plan was risky. To strike teams would assault the small Martian moons where the Vectrax had established fortified bases. The terrain was unforgiving, and the enemy desperate. Among the assault force was Maya Ellis's successor, Lieutenant Jox Chun-Young, fierce and hungry for vengeance. As long as we hold the line, humanity holds Mars, Jox told his squad. We finish this. The dual assault began under the eerie red glow of Mars. On Phobos, human ground forces surged forward through jagged craters, fighting against swarms of biomechanical enemies. The cybervirus, now deployed in localized electromagnetic bursts, wreaked havoc on alien neural nodes. On Deimos, a fleet of human fighters strafed enemy fortifications, providing air support for troops hacking through alien defenses. Captain Blake coordinated orbital support, directing railgun strikes with surgical precision. Target enemy command outposts, he ordered. Prioritize the neural hubs. Disrupt their ability to coordinate. Explosions rocked the moons, severing alien communication and crippling their command chains. Inside a fortified Vectrax bunker on Phobos, Commander Qatar seethed as his forces faltered. Our hive mind is unraveling, he growled. Send. The shockwave pulse wiped their virus from our network, but the virus was relentless, mutating faster than expected. The alien network flickered and failed, leaving their troops disoriented and vulnerable. On Deimos, Lieutenant Jox Chen led a fierce firefight, his pulse rifle carving through the alien hordes. Hold the line, he shouted, for Earth, for Mars. His squad fought with ferocity born of desperation, pushing deeper into enemy territory. Back on Titan's wake, Blake watched as the battle swung in humanity's favor. This is what fighting for home looks like, he said quietly, pride thick in his voice. As the last of the alien command centers fell, the Vectrax fleet scattered, their once imposing invasion reduced to ragged survivors fleeing into the outer solar system. Earth's forces held Mars. The turning tide was clear. On Earth, the global population erupted in cautious celebration, knowing the war was far from over. But hopeful for the first time, Dr. Leela Santos gazed at the night sky, whispering a vow: we will protect our home, no matter the cost. The victory at Mars was a beacon but also a provocation. The Vectrax, though fractured, were far from defeated. Their retreat into the outer solar system was a strategic withdrawal. A gathering storm before the ultimate assault. Captain Aaron Blake stood once more on the bridge of Titan's wake, now battered but unbeaten. The ship's crew worked tirelessly, prepping for the battle that would decide the fate of humanity. Intel from Earth, Lieutenant Patel said, voice tight. The Vectrax are massing their remaining fleet near the asteroid belt. It's a last, desperate push. Blake's gaze hardened. They're coming for Earth itself. Back on Earth, General Sophia Jong convened a global summit via HoloLink. We must hold the line, Jong declared. Our forces are stretched thin, but this is the moment. If Earth falls, everything falls. Dr. Leela Santos, standing beside her, added, we've improved the virus, but the Vectrax will be desperate. Expect anything. In the shadows of the asteroid belt, the Void Sovereign, the Vectrax command flagship loomed like a harbinger of doom. Its hull scarred, but alive with dark bioenergy. Commander Qatar addressed his remaining forces. This is our final stand, he snarled. Humanity's defiance ends here. Prepare the biocore cascade. If we perish, we take them all with us. The humans responded swiftly. From Earth and Mars, fleets converged, forming a protective barrier around the inner planets. Captain Blake's voice cut through the tension on Titan's wake. All hands, prepare for engagement. This battle will test every ounce of our will. The fight began in a flash of light and fury. Alien bioships swarmed the asteroid fields, weaving deadly patterns of attack. Human warships unleashed volleys of plasma and kinetic fire, holding the line with grit and precision. Amid the chaos, Lieutenant Jox Chen piloted his fighter squadron, weaving through enemy fire. Striker Squadron, focus fire on the biocore cascade generators. He commanded the alien weaponer, terrifying fusion of biology and technology, pulsed with destructive energy, threatening to annihilate entire fleets. On the ground, Earth's orbital defense platforms launched missile salvos, aiming to disrupt. The alien formation that Titan's wake took a direct hit, shaking violently. Damage report, Blake demanded. Hull breaches on decks 4 and 6. Shields holding, but barely, Rivera replied, in a desperate gambit. Blake led a boarding team aboard the Void Sovereign, intent on disabling the biocore cascade from within. The corridors of the alien flagship were nightmarish walls, pulsing, with living tissue, floors writhing beneath their feet. Maya Ellis's spirit echoed in the new boarding squad's resolve. Push forward, Blake urged. We end this. They fought through hordes of alien defenders, the air thick with bioplasma and desperation. Deep inside the ship, Blake's team reached the biocore cascade chamber. The weapon glowed with deadly swirling mass of energy and organic matter. Lieutenant Patel worked feverishly on the controls, disabling the cascade. Now, she announced. The ship trembled violently as systems failed. Katar's enraged roar echoed through the corridors. You will not stop us. With the weapon offline, the tide turned. Human forces pressed their advantage, pushing the Vectrax back into retreat. Outside, Jox Chen led a daring strike to shatter the alien fleet's flagship. Keep pushing, he urged, for Earth, for humanity. As the Void Sovereign exploded in a brilliant burst of light, the remaining Vectrax scattered, their invasion finally broken. Back on Titan's wake, Blake looked out at the stars. We survived, he exhaled, knowing the war was over, but the price had been high. On Earth, humanity celebrated, not just survival, but victory. Dr. Leela Santos smiled, whispering to the night sky, we are human, we endure, we triumph. The silence that followed the explosion of the Void Sovereign was profound. No more war cries echoed through the void. No more swarms of alien bioships sought Earth's destruction. The solar system breathed a collective sigh of relief. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of Titan's wake, now drifting gently in the orbit of Mars. The battle scars of countless engagements decorated the ship, but her crew were alive, determined and victorious. Status? Blake asked quietly. Lieutenant Rivera looked up from her console, eyes tired but bright. The last of the Vectrax vessels have fled beyond Neptune's orbit. Communications are dead. It's over. Blake exhaled, allowing himself a rare moment of respite. Send the message to Earth. Tell them the war is won. Back on Earth, the world erupted in cautious celebration. Cities lit up in displays of hope, even as the scars of conflict lingered. Families reunited, soldiers returned home, and the Skies were once again safe. Dr. Leela Santos stood before a global assembly, her voice steady despite exhaustion. We faced an enemy unlike any other, relentless, adaptable, and alien. But in that challenge, we discovered our greatest strength, our unity, our ingenuity, and our unyielding spirit. Her words resonated with millions watching across the globe. For humanity, this victory was not just survival, but affirmation. The war had cost dearly. The names of those who fell, Maya Ellis among them, were etched into monuments on Earth and Mars, a testament to sacrifice and courage. Lieutenant Jox Chen, now promoted, visited one such monument on Mars' red soil. His hand rested lightly on the etched name of Maya, a silent vow in his heart. "We'll carry your spirit forward," he whispered. "We'll protect this home you fought for." But even as the war faded into memory, humanity looked outward. The Vectrax invasion had exposed vulnerabilities and possibilities. The Earth Defense Authority began an ambitious project to expand human presence across the solar system, building colonies on Mars, the moons, and beyond. Dr. Leela Santos spearheaded research into alien technology salvaged from battlefields, eager to unlock secrets that could advance humanity's reach. In the quiet of space, Captain Blake reflected on what they had endured. "This isn't just about war," he told his crew during a rare moment of calm. "It's about who we are, our resilience, our hope." The Titan's wake prepared for a new mission: exploration, diplomacy, and vigilance. Far beyond Neptune, faint signals flickered. Somewhere in the darkness, the scattered Vectrax lingered. But humanity had changed. They were no longer prey, they were guardians. As Earth's sun rose over a healing world, a new dawn broke for humanity. They had faced the abyss and emerged stronger, together, unbroken, unbowed.